Can anybody hear me on the speaker? Excellent. Got that part right anyway. Well, good morning. Since I started early, we might as well get going. How is everybody today? Thank you, Mike. Thank you, James, also. I'm going to work on my lighting here just a little bit, folks. So it keeps shifting on me, seems like. I can't make too many apologies today. I'm a rookie at this, so bear with. I can't figure this light thing out. 1 minute it looked okay, and then it changed. Let me give it a minute to settle in. Maybe it'll be okay. Even got my new Pirates of the Caribbean cup here, courtesy of my daughter's last trip to Disney World. Without me, I might add. Welcome back, Katrina. Is Wendy Lou Who still in here? I saw her earlier. Well, guys, I just wanted to give you a bit of a hint of why I'm doing this. I talked to Lynn earlier about filling in the weekends when maybe her and Josh weren't able to do a show. So I decided finally to pull my head out of the sand and give it a try. So this is it. This is not trying to usurp them or take over their show. It's just filling in the gaps. I know we were all kind of missing getting together. And if there'd been anybody else on, I would have gladly just canceled. So things worked out in the end, I think. I talked to Lynn again last night, so she was okay. Well, there's Leanne Sherbick. Good morning, madam. How's everything up your way? How many people have snow this morning? Well, we try to be, James Ryan. We're well rounded, you know. We actually had some flurries. It's snowing here in the higher elevations, but I live down in the valley, the Tennessee River Valley, so it's not snowing here much. I think they're calling for it though in the mountains and on the plateau. I bet you do, James. How much snow do you guys have up there? Hey, Tina. Good to see you here this morning. That's about what it was doing here, Leanne, just kind of spitting. Oh my, 18 inches. That's I haven't seen that much snow in years. Dang, lots. I'll figure this out eventually. Bear with me. Well, I'm moving around from the waist up, James, so it's a little deceiving. But I am moving around better. I'm actually able to get down the stairs into this office, so it's not, as long as I've got something to hang on to, I'm doing pretty good. The left leg that's not working too good still, I can lock it and support me, and then I can use my right leg to maneuver. Well, Wendy, I'd probably like your accent too if I could hear it. You know what they always say? Most of the people here in the mountains are descendants of the Irish and Scots, so we probably have some stuff back in there that's related to your language. Well, I start physical therapy on Monday too for those. So we'll see how things go from there. It's I'm hoping some improvement. Yeah, James, I was pretty much marooned upstairs for several months. So getting down here is a big deal. James or Mike, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. This is the only accent I've got. Yes, Leanne, no pity parties. I'm trying not to be throw myself in it. I had some notes somewhere. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I don't know how many people in this room collect Funkos, but my daughter works for an antique auction company, and they're having an auction coming up in the next few weeks. It's already online, and they had dozens of Funkos in this particular auction. I don't know what people collect or what they like or dislike, but there's a bunch of them in there. If anybody's interested and wants to take a look at them, I'll put the address in the chat in a minute and pass it on. I know they had a bunch of Star Wars stuff, but then they had a bunch of TV shows and some Marvel stuff. They had Deadpool and some of the other. All right, Leanne. Thanks for coming by, and hope you have a good day. Maybe we'll see you again later on somebody else's channel. Hey, B50 or Blue Nose 352. Good morning, buddy. Sorry, I started to call you B52. I used to work with a guy we call B52. That's what he worked on in the Air Force. So, you know how nicknames are, they stick. Always reminds me of the show at MASH. where Hawkeye was having a traumatic response to something, and he was playing basketball in his sleep, and Radar O'Reilly came out and he kept calling him Stinky. Radar said, "I really wish you wouldn't do that, sir." He said, "That's the kind of thing that can stick to a feller." So what else has anybody got on their mind this morning? Surely there's something else out there people need to talk about. In the meantime, I'll see if I can't find that auction with the Funkos in it. Nope, it's not that one. Here it is, I believe. Yep. This guy's got, this was some kind of collectible store, I'm thinking. So he had a lot of Funkos, which I know a lot of people at Disney are collect. He also had some, if you're into people that are into cars, Matchbox cars and stuff, he had lots of that too. So anyway, here's the address. If anybody's interested, you can check them out. It's pretty much handled online. You don't have to be here or anything like that. About to have company here. Come here. No? Oh, well, when he's ready, he'll show up. Blue Nose Chris, yeah, we need to talk, buddy. I need to see how you're doing. I'm remiss at not having called you sooner. All right, everybody. This is Teddy. He's my hangers on. He's the guy that's been keeping me company and while I've been laid up. He's about more than my weight limit from what I'm supposed to be picking up. He weighs right around 18 pounds, so. Yeah, he's a snugglebug Marik Teenham when he wants to be. He climbs up in bed and he wants me to lay a certain way, and then if I roll over and get that, he just climbs right on in and he's set. Yeah, this I've told other people about him. He's his middle name is Pockets. When I first found him, he was so little he'd fit in my shirt pocket. He won't fit in a shirt pocket now. His little sister just about well. It's hard to believe they came out of the same litter. You gonna hang around or you gonna hop down? I don't know how many. There he goes. I don't know how many of you know me or know much about me. Not many. I've not been online much until recently. Um, I've guessed with guest star is probably not the right word, but with some other folks with Lynn, and she had me on one of her shows, and I've fairly recently retired, mostly because of health issues, which kind of came to a head in the last few months. But I've had a pretty varied career. I started out working on airplanes and did that for about 20 years. And then I went back to college and was a natural resource manager for the last 20. So it went back to college at 36. Now that's a strange feeling when all the other students there are about 18 or 19 years old. But I got a undergraduate degree and then a master's degree before I stopped. And hey, Wendy, go for it. That's not too old at all. I'm a firm believer in teaching old dogs new tricks. So what you got to know is just you got to want it. And as long as you want it, you can make it happen. That's right, James. 57 produced some really good stock. Blue Nose, my surgery part of my back is feeling better all the time. The lower back, which is where my back pain originally was, is kind of come and go, but I'm going to hopefully be able to work on that now too. So I've seen the surgeon and the specialist about my back, and they all seem to think it's healing properly. They say it'll probably take 6 months to get all the feeling back in my legs. It's a strange thing having this kind of ailment down your back or your legs. You know, you feel some things, but you don't feel other things. I couldn't feel hardly anything in my left leg when this started, and I couldn't control it whatsoever. It was just completely numb and heavy, and I couldn't do anything with it. But almost as soon as surgery was over, I could feel it again, and I could lift it. I don't feel everything though still, but if you put your hand on my leg, I can feel that. If the cat sticks a claw in it, I feel pain. That's a weird thing. You don't feel everything else, but I definitely can feel pain. Yeah, Wendy, I'm using a walker and a stick, as you said, a cane. I don't really have any tingling, Blue Nose. It's just numb, and it feels very heavy. And the thing that probably bothering me the most right now is the fact that at night I start getting these cramps and my legs start to jump and twitch, and I can't really control that. And it seems to be worse at night when I'm trying to go to sleep, and it tends to keep me awake. Hey, Karen Cook, how are you today? But anyway, I think it's getting better. And I think once I start working my leg, and it'll all improve. Now that I'm kind of turning loose and can do PT, I'm hoping to see some changes. I have a lot of things I need to do. One, I need to get back to Disney World. James Ryan's holding an appointment for me to in front of the partner statue. So we got to do some handshaking there, and you know, I've ridden motorcycles since I was 14, and I'm desperate to get back on my bike. I wanted to do some videos on the bike this after retirement, and I've not been able to do much yet. Hey, Tracy Glenn, good morning. Good to see you, buddy. How are you today? Do you ride, Wendy? I am located in East Tennessee. I was actually born and bred in Upper East Tennessee, up in the corner. I lived in Nashville for a while. I lived in Florida for a little while. Um, Lived in Nashville for most of my airplane career. I worked out of Nashville Airport, and then came back up here to finish my schooling, and ended up staying here. Just happened to get a job here with a federal agency, so doing the kind of work I wanted to do. So that worked out. Both my daughters were in school, and they wanted to stay here to finish high school, so and ended up working. So and I put in 20 years with them, and then I retired. I don't know how many of you know what the Tennessee Valley Authority is or was, but that's who I work for. That's the last of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal plans. Oh no, whose curls did Tracy cut? His own? Well, that's good, Karen. If the PT's helping and you got a clean bill of health, you're on the right path. Just keep it up. Yes, it was. Yes, it is, James. It's most people today just think it's a power company, electricity, but it's really much, much more than that. It's nice to meet somebody, James, that knows what it is. Even the people that know what it is, a lot of people don't realize it's federal. Trying to read up on chat and keep up there, guys. Pardon me for a minute. I would have invited somebody else in to talk today, but I don't know how to do that yet. I'm working on with TubeBuddies at the moment, so I'm not sure how that kind of thing works. I know I'm not happy with the light and the color though. There, that's a little better. I'm not orange anymore. That's true, James. It put a lot. Here, my buddy, he came back. Put a lot of people back to work during the Depression, and not just the TVA people, but the CCC, the conservation. Oh, I can't even remember the title now, and I really admire the CCC. But they had several camps around the reservoirs and stuff that TVA built, and did a lot of work up here. Built a lot of the state parks and the national parks. TVA bought up a lot of land for their first reservoir, which was Norris. And that's where I've spent my career, was working on Norris. But they also gave somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 acres of land over to the state for state parks and wildlife refuges and state forests. And that's just on one reservoir. Well, Karen, it's good to know us old folks sometimes. No, Tracy, I'm not yet. I will probably go to that. I just this is just on YouTube and TubeBuddy, so I'm new, so I'm learning, but StreamYards is probably what I'll start with after this. Well, I know that, Karen, but I wasn't going to insult you by including you in the list. James, I agree. I would love to sit back and talk to that man. Him and Walt Disney both. I talked to a lot of people when I worked for TVA, and that remembered their parents for their land was bought or taken, as some people would say, but most of them have told me that they were starving to death until TVA came along, so they actually really appreciated it. Yeah, Tracy, that's kind of what I was figuring out too, so I'm going to work on that. But I didn't want to get too deep in over my head today, so I feel like I've accomplished something just getting on here. Good morning, Billy. I didn't see you come in. I'm thinking it's a full-time job for you, just keeping Tracy straight. Is that true? fresh coffee. Well, Karen, that teacher should have just bit the bullet and learned to appreciate, because I'm sure most seniors wrote too short a essay or paper. Yeah, James, I looked a tad jaundiced. That's why 1 minute it was okay, and then it was flickering on this end or something. Now, I am prone to talk too loud, so tell me if I'm hollering into the microphone. Tell me. I'll try to back off. 20 years of working on airplanes kind of messed my hearing up. I don't even realize I'm doing it. My wife says I do it too much. So, oh, Tracy, you're going to blame Billy for it, huh? Are you within arm's reach? I don't know. Maybe New York girls aren't like Tennessee girls, but I'd get hit for that. Hey, Shelley Skywalker. Good morning. With Tina Marie and Shelley Skywalker around, we've got some really great photographers in this group. Well, that works too, James. I could probably blame some of that on mine too. It sounds better if I blame it on the airplanes, though. That way people can't say it was all my fault. No, you're welcome, Shelley. Your nature photography is outstanding, especially considering how long you told me you've been at it or haven't been at it. I worked for years to try to get anywhere near that good. One of these days, I'm going to move into the digital age and buy a digital camera. I mean, a good one. Yes, they are, Chris. And so is Tina's. Tina's has printed or posted some really good ones. I can't think of the word. This is where, after a while, the bum leg starts aching a little bit. But not so bad I can't live with it. Well, what else has people got on their minds this morning? Surely there's something else we need to talk about. Spiders. My mind's full of trivia when it comes to, stuff. When I was in high school, don't laugh, I spent almost all my free time, if you want to call it that, sitting in the library reading books. And one of the things I loved to do was pick up encyclopedias and just go flip through an entire encyclopedia, pick up little odds and ends. I think that's why I still have so much trivia stuck in my brain. I've always been a pretty voracious reader until I've slowed down some in the last few years, but oh, that'd be neat though, Shelley. Cedar waxwings are just one of the prettiest birds out there. Oh, I loved film, Tracy. Back in the when I started photography, I was still in high school, and we actually built a darkroom. We shot a lot of black and white back then, and I loved working with black and white film. And we started moving into color. We were able to do some of our own processing. Well, we processed all of our black and white film, but somewhere around here, I still have a box of negatives and some prints. I have some prints of Disney World I want to find because I flew over Disney World in a small plane in 72 or 3 before I ever actually went to the park and took a bunch of aerial photographs from the park. They were in the process of building Space Mountain, I believe, at that time. Darkroom work was a blast. I spent many, many hours in the darkroom in high school. I worked on the school newspaper photography, and so we had a darkroom at school. But 3 or 4 of my buddies and I went together and built a darkroom at one of the houses, and that's where we did a lot of our work. I took pictures for groups and family groups and just kids and just all kinds of stuff for a while. And then I got into slides. The last few years I was shooting film, I just mostly shot E6 slides. E6 because Kodachrome just got so hard to get. The Kodachrome color is just hard to, it's very impressive. My ear's itching. Guys, hang on. But then I started shooting Fujifilm, and there was a local dealer / lab that did E6 development, so I got all my film done by them. Kodachrome was just too much. I mean, it just became too difficult to get done. And a lot of people don't know it, but Kodachrome, which was the song Paul Simon wrote about, was actually a black and white film that they colorized after it was printed. Kodak kept that in-house. They were the only ones that could do it. But anyway, I've stuck. I still have that camera and stuff. I haven't totally gone to I'd like to get an SLR or a mirrorless digital. I believe I don't know what Tina shoots with. Shelley shoots with a Nikon, I think, which is what I had in high school, but it got stolen and I ended up with a Minolta later. Oh, Mike, that's cool. If she worked for Kodak, then she probably might have been involved with Kodachrome. Tina, do you shoot? I guess you probably shoot strictly digital, but if you're still in here, I started saying you shoot large format, but with digital, I don't think it really makes much difference anymore. That's right, Tina. Mama, don't take my Kodachrome away. Kodachrome was some great stuff. It was, this color saturation was amazing. Their reds were just hard to beat. Oh, no doubt, Tracy. The work I've seen, Tina is very talented. Well, that's interesting, Tina, because I name my motorcycles. Canons are good cameras, Blue Nose. Canons and Nikons and Olympus, which is, I don't know how they've just been bought out, so we'll see how they do. But I actually grew up with a Nikkormat, which was slightly cheaper than a pure Nikon. No, it didn't have quite as many features and stuff. So I used a lot of Nikon lenses, which were just the best at the time. Hi, Amy and AJ Magic TV. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Now, Tracy, I don't want no fights here in my first live chat, so you be nice to Tina. I got a feeling she's not going to back down to you. Blue Nose, my mother loved Polaroid. She liked that instant gratification. Unfortunately, the color Polaroids and stuff that came out with don't really hold up over the test of time. Nah, surely not, Tracy. You're not a joker, you. That's gotta be wrong. So maybe I was blaming you. Maybe I should be blaming Tina. Everyone. Now, Tina, no pity parties. Remember what Leanne said. That's true, Blue Nose. I forgot about that. Well, James, it seems that way. We're trying to figure out if it's Blame Tina Day or Blame Tracy Day. It depends. It depends, Tracy. What were you eating at the time? That's taking it back away, Shelley. Watch it, Karen cook. That's spreading it out a little too thin too. Now I'm gonna have to get back on Tina's side because us T names get blamed for too much as it is. Oh me, what time is it? 10:42. Obviously, I'm not as good a conversationalist as Lynn and Josh are because time goes by really fast when they're on. James, do the Browns play today or tomorrow? Sorry, guys, I'm getting twitchy. I'm having to move around a little bit. Oh, I see. I see my color's gone again. I got to figure this out. Maybe I do have jaundice, James. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, well, I was going to try to jump off before anybody got on, Tracy. So thanks for reminding me of that. Bill. Now that's the way you start rumors. It's just coffee. Might have a little moonshine creamer in it. Thanks for jumping in, Bill. Tim Vision. We could call it that. I'll get the lights figured out if I have to throw them away and get new ones. Oh no, Tracy, hang on a minute. Let me show you. Yeah. blasted lights. Well, anyway, this is Appalachian sipping cream, Tracy. It's made with moonshine. Well, actually, I drink my coffee black too, but since Bill threw it out there, I figured I'd just go along with it. Thanks, Mike. I'll have to work on that. Hey, Ron McDonald, how are you, buddy? Let's see what time it is again. You got about 10 minutes. We'll probably sign off here in about 5 or so. Give everybody a chance to get in and watch This Our Dream today at 11 o'clock. Anybody know if Myers and the Mouse are going to be on? Toilet paper, I swear. Well, that would be good, James. I might try to do that. That sounds better. That's easy enough to fix. So somebody fill me in on the Myers and the Mouse. I know they bought a house, but have they actually already moved down there? Tracy, I kind of thought that might be the case, but I wasn't sure. Well, folks, I think we'll start winding this down so we can give everybody a chance to get over and get on the other stream. I can't even think right now. With Jeff. But I appreciate everybody that showed up today. This has been kind of an impromptu show, and but I plan on doing some more, especially till we get things back on order with coffee and contemplation. I talked to Lynn about that previously, and they were talking about possibly going to every other Saturday. So I'm going to try to at least do the Saturdays they're not available. So, James, I'll be here next weekend, depending on if they're going to be here. I guess I could start an hour early than they do. They started at 11. But we'll see, and but we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, everybody have a great Saturday and a rest of the weekend. And I will see you all again very soon. You're welcome, Tina. Thanks for coming. It means a lot when you guys show up. And I know, like I said, this was short notice. And so I appreciate it. See you, Bill. James and Mike Wheeler, I appreciate you being short notice mods. Well, James, some people might argue with you about that, but I'll say you're right. Well, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate the vote of confidence. If I can get this yellow light fixed, I'll be doing a lot better. All right, everybody. Have a great day. And I appreciate you showing up and really do appreciate it. Well, that might work too, Bill. Share Sunday morning shine with Tim. That works. All right. See you guys. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.